What is up, messengers? Welcome to our Freedom of Peace podcast, episode 5. My name is Jerome.
And I'm Z.
And we are the head messengers of Masterpiece LLC, a positive lifestyle perspective, brand, message, energy that we're just trying to put out there to the rest of the world to, create a better environment.
Yeah. So welcome, you guys. Thank you for coming. Let's slide up real quick. Today we are going to discuss, pretty much challenges that one will be faced with that, in a sense, how did I put this? Challenges that we're faced with when trying to create a healthier lifestyle for ourselves. When I say ourselves, I mean, yourself, others around you, things like that.
Right.
All right. So, and I think this is a really good topic to hit on. And because everybody can kind of relate, honestly.
Right. Everybody wants to be, but nobody wants to talk about the becoming. And this is basically a conversation about the becoming a better you.
Yes.
And the becoming never stops. You're always becoming as long as you have life in you. If you're going to live tomorrow, okay, you're going to become another you tomorrow. Yes. You're not going to be the same person. So don't ever think that. I think that's a major point for us to start on. Don't ever think that this journey will stop. It won't. There's no end game for a greater you or a healthier you, because you're going to have to keep performing those things to maintain or, supersede that, or not supersede, but ascend from that lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, always growing. Always growing. It's all about growth in this world, right? If you can't take advice or direction from anybody or anything, if you always think that you know best, then
it's gonna be rough.
It's gonna be kind of rough.
You cannot be a know-it-all, because a lot of the truths that you know right now will probably be crushed.
Oh yes.
when embarking on this journey. So
that's good.
And that's gonna make people uncomfortable, which I think is another major point. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable.
Oh my goodness. That's a bar.
Yeah, you have to you have to be willing to be uncomfortable if you're going to become your greatest self, because you're not that person right now. So, and you're probably comfortable right now. So,
yep.
You know that's not your best self. So in doing that, welcoming that uncomfortable feeling, because that's what growth is.
That's what growth is.
Right.
And I think kind of what we hit on, when you grow, being uncomfortable, changing for the better, along the same lines of a woman having a baby. You see what I'm saying? Her body's changing, it's growing, right? She's very uncomfortable. Of course, there's always the exceptions, but we're talking about in general, right? She's changing, she's growing, body changes, baby getting bigger, things change. You know what I mean? So,
but the thing about that is, women, which y'all have this cheat code, I think I mentioned that to you, just by having that pregnancy experience, well, those are lucky enough to get pregnant, that you welcome that uncomfortable feeling when it's giving a life or whatever, right? So giving birth to a new you is gonna be way more uncomfortable.
Yes.
But you have to also welcome that. You can't run from it. That's because it's gonna be your experience. It's gonna be your reality. It's gonna be your testimony. You know what I mean? So, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be perfect. It really is. As long as you apply yourself, and as long as you keep a genuine spirit and keep that consistent energy toward becoming, you'll get there, and you'll stay there by continuing to become.
Yes. And just to add, this can come at any point in life. Don't think you're ever too old to change or you're too young to change. This is something at any point in time. Like, I know I have a really good friend of mine. She's 80 years old and she still has dreams and aspirations. She wants to open her own business. She's very, very, very open to wanting to do new things, right? She hasn't stopped herself because she's 80. She's like, oh, well, it's time for me to just sit in now. No, this woman has so much spunk and fire, and I cannot wait to show you guys who she is one day. We'll do an interview. Well, she'll be on the podcast one day, but just to kind of tell y'all,
that there's people out there that, that are really striving to become their greatest self, and they're up in age. I've come across many of older people who in the gym. I see them in the gym. You know what I mean, getting fit and stuff like that. So it's never too late. As long as you have now, you can build that forever.
Yeah.
So
I agree, babe. I agree.
And so in doing that, I think a key thing is starting with the basics. You know, create an accountability partner.
Yes.
Create an accountability partner.
Yes, because that's going to help you tremendously in this very uncomfortable journey that you have ahead of you if you're choosing to move forward with this. And just having that person there, right? It's support within itself. Just having a rock, right? This is my rock. Just having him there with me, just knowing he supports me, that's all I really need. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, accountability partners are huge.
Right. And some not everybody's, not everybody needs an accountability partner.
Right.
We understand that also. But on the same token, it's like if you're placing that there for yourself, it's harder to fall off or backslide from the mission. So that's a very good tool. Very good tool, and it gives you an advantage that's it's pretty much unmatched, if you ask me. When you got a real life force there to tell you when you're doing wrong, or hey man, you might want to do it this way, or hey, remember you said this, and makes you honor your commitment.
Yes,
it hits that much harder.
Especially when you know that they care too. That they're saying it because they care, not because they're trying to pick at you, not because they're just being spiteful or petty. They actually truly care for your well-being, right? And it's just that, like I said, is support within itself. Right. So, and making sure you're in a mindset to be able to recognize that, right? So you're not being like, offended or, taking everything personally. If they're calling you out on what you need to be doing, have an open mind to realize, okay, this is what I asked for. This is what I need. Yeah. I need somebody to call me out on my stuff, right? So, just thinking about stuff like that. And again, starting with the basics.
The basics. For me, it was water. I started off, I did a lot of research. I know I've done way more than 10,000 hours, which that's the cliche time that they say it takes to master anything.
Right.
And I decided, spend at least 10,000 hours mastering myself, because putting that 10,000 hours towards something outside of me wouldn't give me the same return as putting it in this life force. But I studied water and the benefits and, how healthy water intake improves your health tremendously. And I think those small benefits, along with the fact that water is something that I can immediately control because I'm the one who drinks my water. Nobody else can do it for me. Something that I have to do. I could be in the now with that transition all the time, because it was always there. If I'm thirsty, water, you know what I mean? And then if it wasn't around, I had to go seek it. And that in itself created a discipline, that I didn't know then, but I knew I needed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know now that I needed it in order to segue that into something else, toward my health. So, but starting with water, and making sure that you're drinking the proper amount, that you're drinking quality water.
Yes.
And
there is a difference.
Yes, there is. And just do research. Do research on the benefits. Like, arm yourself with some facts. So therefore it makes it harder to regress from what you've already built. You know what I mean? Once you put up enough facts, in your reality, to combat your old ways, it's harder to continue to participate and perform those things.
Yep. I do agree with that.
Because this one right here, matter of fact, why don't you tell them about, your journey with water?
Okay. So, you guys, my journey with water was a lack of a journey with water, right? I did not start. And so, see, this is the thing, right? I knew better. I know I need to drink more water, right? I know this. I'm very well aware of how the benefits of drinking more water. Like I said, I know.
And most people do.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like, most people, like, you run across, they do understand, like, I know better. You know what I mean? So anyways, but with me, it was just, I was lazy. I didn't take accountability of myself. I wasn't fully aware that I knew I wasn't drinking enough water, but I wasn't really aware that I wasn't drinking enough water, right? So as the day goes, you see what I'm saying? I'm losing track of time. I don't think about water, so it just slips my mind, so I don't think about it. So like I said, I'm not taking accountability of myself and being like, hey, maybe putting in my phone reminders, drink water. You see what I'm saying? I could easily do that, right? Just not taking accountability of it. So, but yeah. So what happened was, I've been like this for many years. Even with when I started working out, right? Water was still my huge challenge. I literally, y'all, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys.
Bad.
I literally started being good at water maybe in the last month. Okay? Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Yeah. But it was because of him, right? The accountability partner thing, right? He is my accountability partner, all right? And he has helped me tremendously, not just with water, with a whole lot of other things, but there's plenty of time for the all other stuff too, right? But with water, right? He has made me aware that I need to drink more water. Mm-hmm. That's what I was missing. I know I need to drink it. I just wasn't aware, right? And so I wanted to be a better person for myself, but for him as well. Mm-hmm. How am I going to sit here and agree and preach and back him up, right? With, you got to drink water, or, you know, spring water and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not doing it myself. That makes me a hypocrite. I can't sit there and do it in public, in person, and in behind closed doors, I'm drinking maybe a liter of water a day. It's like, it's terrible. I ain't even gonna get into that, but I can't do that. That's going against everything that I have agreed to be for him, and vice versa, right? And even to the outside public. I cannot sit here and train clients and all that kind of stuff and be okay with, hey, you need to drink more water, but I'm not doing the same thing. So,
and that segues into another huge point. Create a why that's bigger than you. Create a why. So for her, the why was more so, you know, she wanted it was another way for us to grow closer, you know, and have another sub experience inside of our experience together. It's like, hey, look, there's this water journey too. And so by me, like, holding her more accountable with her water, you know, not saying, hey, go drink some water.
No, he didn't do that. No,
it's just arming her with the facts, you know, like the benefits, you know, and the adverse effects of not drinking water, you know, things of that nature. Yeah. She get a headache or something. Hey, when last time you drank some water, you know?
And me just overall feeling better when I did. You know what I mean? Like I'm feeling better, so that's gonna automatically bring a better mood to the house, to the relationship. You see what I'm saying? I'm not walking around like dragging, tired, and all of that too. So it's just also how I overall actually felt. You see what I'm saying? And I'm able to bring a better version of me to the relationship because
simply because you drank water.
Exactly. Something basic.
So small.
The basics.
But it's so huge. You know, just it does so much for your energy. If you look at anything that creates energy, from a car, a dam, a house, whatever, they have some sort of water circulation going on. So, you know,
the life force.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't live without water.
And our body circulating water is what gives us life.
Yeah.
So, anywho, but to continue on with that, it's like it's an ongoing thing, you know. But having that why there is hey, I want to be a greater for this situation, if not for myself. You know what I mean? It holds you accountable when you don't feel like you're enough for this journey, because there will be days where you battle mentally, which is another subject that we're touching on. It's like, you know, you have to be willing to fight with the old you at all times.
Yes.
And conquer that more comfortable self.
Yes. And if you can remember your why, if you have a very strong why and you can remember it, it will help you get through it that much easier, right? Because when people, and that's why we're so big on just having a why. And I know you probably heard it, we've all heard it, have a why, have a why. That's actually very important. You have to. He's my why. Like, if I could continue down the same path I've been, but he's my why. He's why I do it. I'm why I do it, right? My overall health, my overall goals in life is why I do it personally. So for everybody else, just find a strong why. And that why will lead you through those times of being super uncomfortable, which is coming in the journey. If you have not already hit the wall, and it will get you over that hump, right?
It will. And then in creating that why, it will start to make you restructure your environment. Yeah. Because you'll start protecting that why. Yeah. That why will be more important than,
what people think about me. Yeah. For instance.
Or what people think about me, or being in the cool crowd as far as drinking and social clubs and things. Those things, once you start mattering more, those things won't matter as much, because you're gonna eventually want and be addicted to the possibility of a greater you. You know what I mean? You're gonna be curious about that greatness, because you may get small results, and that might spur you, or somebody may give you a compliment and that might push you on. But that you're gonna start protecting that why the more you hold yourself accountable, and that makes you recreate your personal environment, who you hang around, what you eat, the hobbies. Where you spend your leisure time, exactly. Like all of that, you're gonna restructure your lifestyle. So you have to welcome that. Also, that's welcoming that uncomfortable feeling. Yes. Because new and change is never comfortable for most people. Yes. I mean, so welcome it though. Welcome it. Welcome the greater you. I can't stress that enough. Like, and the only way to do that is to give the greater you a chance. Yes. And how are you honestly doing that? If you're not changing for the better, how are you honestly giving the greater you a chance if you're not trying to re-engage with this life? Yeah. Because what you're doing now, if you're in a space where you feel like you can do better, what you've been doing now hasn't been working. It hasn't been working. If you're feeling like there could be greater, then what's been happening hasn't been working. And you're gonna have to restructure yourself and create something else in order to go further. It can't be the same redundant thing. The doing does not stop. Right. That's what we were talking about earlier. Growth. Right. It's not just doing the same thing over and over again, and being like, well, I should be much better off now. Yep. But you've been doing the same thing over, and you're not open to taking, new ideas, new ways of doing things, new change. Yep. And again, like we stressed it does not matter your age or where you're at in life or how you were raised or your background. There is no excuses. There is literally no excuses. There is none. If you have a great why, right, and you have the will to want to change and be a better, create a better you to put out into this world, there's literally no excuses. And I will, I'm going to kind of go back just a little bit, babe. When he was in Afghanistan, right? You don't have a whole bunch of resources in Afghanistan, right? But yet he still wanted to drink, and I'm going to touch on it again, drink good quality water. Yeah. Okay? To the point where I even went and invested in a little contraption that filtered my water for me. And exactly. People that know me, they know I don't play about my water. Yes. Because it was the Kickstarter for a lot of things, and so I'm not gonna deviate from something that's provided more quality to my life, just for the sake of an opinion or something like that. Like, no, I know this works for me, right? And I will continue to be the proof of the facts, that this stuff works. I don't mind being the example. People call me a weirdo sometimes, all that other stuff. But who's really the weirdo? But no, it's not even about that, because the only thing they're referring to is discipline. I can't be mad at them referring to discipline. Yeah. That's their language. That's how they identify discipline. They call it weird. Yeah. And some people think discipline is weird. That's not my business. Just know over here, our discipline performs. Yeah. It performs, right? So, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what other people say anyways. Who really cares, right? Because if you're in this journey for a better you, I'm telling you, you do something to change, for instance,
your life to better yourself and you overall feel better, like you overall just feel better,
and
right? Radiating. I don't care what nobody has to say. You keep doing what you need to do. If you physically and mentally feel better, because we all know mental is a huge part of this as well, right? And you know, your mental sanity is there as well. Mental health is extremely important. Who cares what anybody has to say? Do you enjoy?
I can't afford to care.
Yeah.
I'm too busy focused on being a greater me. So I can't afford to give time to something like that's controlling your environment again. I can't give negative energy life that it doesn't deserve. I can't afford to give it a piece of me because it'll distract me from who I'm trying to become.
Right.
You know, and that's another thing. You have to keep those distractions limited. A lot of things will try to come along as you're on this journey. A lot of things will come along and, you know, it may seem fun. You know, oh man, my friends are starting to go out on Thursday nights, even though that's the night that I like to work out and do this, that, and the other. They're starting to go out on Thursday nights and do A, B, or C. Hey, you're going to have to make that sacrifice because you are worth it.
You are.
And you're going to have to stay locked into that mindset for, what do they say? It takes 6 weeks to make a habit. So if you want to make this a habit for at least 6 weeks, you're going to have to lock in. I mean, generally, for me, if the why is big enough, I don't need 6 weeks for it to be a habit. I just need that why.
Yeah. And like he said, you're worth it. What do you have to risk? What do you have to lose? Everything. Like yourself. Who you are as a human being, because you only get one life to live. You know what I mean? Like, you have to make the best of this. So who wouldn't want to, like, if my overall health, mental, and everything is on the line, it's not going to take me 6 weeks.
Nope.
Right? If I want it that bad, again, speaking about me personally, I know me. If I want it that bad,
start now.
Start now. You know what I mean? And I understand, like, not everybody, you know, even if you don't start now, right? At least work. Again, this is a journey. It's never ending. Perfect, just start.
But it's perfect.
Just start. That's all you need to do. At least make an effort to work towards it. That's all we're saying. So
and that's that intent, though. You know, having that intention always in the forefront. You know, I want this. Yeah. I really do want this. And then after the statement of I want this, that's the decision, I guess. And then after the decision comes the why. Yes.
Because when you're fed up with something, you'll know when you're fed up with something. You'll know when you're tired and fed up of something. Like, if you're fed up with something, but you still do things to still not work towards, but you're still doing.
You're catering to that.
Then you're not fed up. Let's just be honest. You're not fed up, okay? And I guess let me just be blatant about some stuff. If you're tired of being overweight, right? But you're like, okay, and you know you have to incorporate a healthier diet, but you're like, okay, but I'm not going to give up drinking and on the weekends, or I'm not going to give up. I'll eat healthier, but I'm not going to give this up, and I'm not going to give this up, and I'm not going to give this up, regardless of what it is that you know is catering towards that unhealthy lifestyle. Then you're not fed up.
You can't bargain with great. Yeah. You can't. You're just gonna have to pay your dues up front. Yeah. There's no way around it. Exactly. So, I mean, there's payment plans, but
we don't need those.
Now by now. Yeah. That's now by now. That's how you pay for that great. And you, like you were mentioning, it's like you got to stay locked in. Yeah. Just got to stay locked in.
Yeah, I agree, man.
So. But you
got something?
Man, no, like it just took me back to those spaces of having to push myself, like my old self out of the way whenever I would get uncomfortable, you know, with how a journey was going. And I don't want to say I had expectations, but it's like I kept having to ask myself why all the time. And I guess we just can't get off that subject, but that's what it goes back to. That's the ultimate accountability partner is the why. Yeah. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And going back into that space of how rewarding it is to say no to the old you. You know what I mean? Right. And like, you know, and not do the things that you would normally do when you weren't your best self, you know, and get away and grow away from that stuff for a better you and what that better you provides, because I know I'm being greater for my family, for my woman, for everything that I'm engaged in, because I'm bringing my best self to the party. And that's what this life is. It's one big party. It's just, who do you decide to show up as? Are you going to try to put on a costume, or you want to build your real self to be enough of a costume that you don't have to put on a costume?
Yep.
You know?
And I really, and to add to that, you also have to make sure, and did we mention this? But you also have to make sure that sometimes in this journey that you're super uncomfortable, the people in the journey with you might not need to be in the journey moving forward, right? Because if they don't have the same goals, intentions, if they don't have the same, like, they want to see you do better as well, right? And they're constantly maybe putting you down if you're trying to do better for yourself, right? If you know what you're trying to do is actively moving towards bettering yourself, and then you're around a group of people that are constantly putting you down when you try to do that, then it's also time to reevaluate the people that you might have in your life as well, right? So we all know if it's toxic, you're gonna have to cut it off. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's drinking on the weekends or whatever, just example, or whether it's
just not being supportive.
Yeah.
Some people just
people, like,
blatantly not supportive of you,
and they don't care,
and
they know it.
They're going to continue to let you know it.
Yeah,
and that's toxic for you.
Yes.
To have that as a reminder all the time, and you place yourself around that willingly.
And
then you'll come across a lot of people who don't want to change the people in their environment because they say, oh, I love them. Well, sometimes you have to love people enough to let them go be them.
Yes,
because you have an obligation to become your great. You really do. If you're giving life your best shot, you have an obligation to become your greatest.
And even if it's maybe like people you can't completely cut out, you have to learn how to possibly distance yourself with them overall. You see what I'm saying?
Moderation.
Yes, exactly. Like if you're going to do a cheat meal, right? You do it in moderation, right? Everything's moderation. So the same thing with these types of people. Everything's in moderation. If you're just like, oh, well, I can't cut so-and-so off. Okay, well, in moderation.
Yep. I go out with them when I want to have a cheat. Exactly.
So just have to learn that too. Like I said, so just always be aware of on this journey, on this growth that we're all going through and experiencing. Like, just, it's overall. It's not like only specifics, this and this. It's like it's overall.
Everything. You have to restructure your whole life to be healthier.
And if you lose people on the way, if you lose opportunities on the way, then
it wasn't for you.
It wasn't meant for you. You did not need it, and more will come. More doors will open, because if you do, like you said earlier in the beginning, if you put good out into this world, good is going to always come back. If you constantly surround yourself with the negative and, oh, I can't do this, not mindset as well as people, that's all you're going to breed. Yep. That's all that's going to come back to you. Yep. If you plant something and you water it negativity and water it, toxic friends and things like that, what do you expect to come from it, right? So again, it's uncomfortable. Planting a seed. The seed is in the dark, in the dirt. The seed doesn't, the plant doesn't know what's going on. It's trying to fight through the dirt. But as soon as it sprouts, you know what I mean? It's made it to the sun, it's made it to the light, and what happens? It grows into a beautiful flower, so.
It blooms. But that initial fight is where people give up. Yeah. For sure. And you have to always remind yourself that you're more than worth it.
Yeah,
you're more than worth it. Like, finding who you are, like I was saying, for this life and creating the greatest version of you, I guess. Like, why not? Because, like, for me, for example, why not give her the best version of me / a version of me that nobody else can say that they've had? Why not? And if there's somebody else in your life who's maybe not a significant other, a kid, your parents, whatever, why not allow them to witness my great?
Right.
If I have the opportunity, knowing that at worst it gives them life.
Yeah.
Why not? So I think
that's about it.
I think that's good, but I think we should leave it right there.
Yep. I mean, it's not it, but there's always more. But more.
Yeah, we can talk on this forever, but.
All right.
In the meantime, until next time, people, together we win.
Together we win.